So it's 6 o'clock for whoever just joined. This is Federica, I'm part of the Doc City team, and it's my pleasure to welcoming you all to this live presentation study at Edinburgh Napier University. And then now my pleasure to leave the floor to Federica. She's the Senior International Officer at Edinburgh Napier University.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. As Federica said, my name is also Federica. I'm the Senior International Officer here at Edinburgh Napier University, and today I'm joined by our amazing student ambassador, Teresa. She will join her experience with you guys, and as we said before, you will have a chance to ask her any questions you may have about her experience, studying here in Edinburgh, studying in Scotland, her course, etc. Also about the weather, which I know is a very, very common question. So throughout this presentation, I'm going to give you some general information about our country, Scotland, about our city, the beautiful city of Edinburgh, and then lastly about our university, Edinburgh Napier University. So let's start with Scotland. So there are some elements that people normally associate with Scotland. So, for example, people normally know that we have a small population compared to other countries, but we have a very, very distinct culture, and we are really proud of our culture. Also, people normally associate Scotland with whiskey, for example, the very famous Scottish whiskey, but also the Scottish delicacy haggis, or kilts and bagpipes, the Scottish traditional clothing and musical instruments, but also the Loch Ness Monster, which you can try to catch a glimpse of. And I'd be interested in knowing what you guys normally associate Scotland with, if there's anything in particular that you normally think of when thinking about Scotland. You've got here some examples. If you've got other ideas, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm really interested. It's always nice to hear. And also, people normally know that we are part of the United Kingdom, but we have our own government. So, what are the things that people don't normally know about Scotland? And things that you can find out? Well, first of all, the fact that Scotland was voted the most beautiful country in the world in 2019. And with its wonderful landscapes, it's no surprise. As you can see here, Scotland is very, very beautiful. But something that people don't normally know, and I think is really, really, really interesting, is that Scotland is the birthplace of many important inventions. The first one is definitely Harry Potter. So Harry Potter originated in Scotland. The author J.K. Rowling wrote the first book here in Edinburgh in a cafe called the Elephant House, which you can visit once you're here in Edinburgh. And she got inspired by many different places here in Edinburgh, from schools to graveyards. So if you are a Harry Potter fan, Edinburgh is definitely a must visit. In case you are more of a gamer than a reader, then also the video game GTA originated here in Scotland, in Edinburgh. But also the telephone, the MRI scanner, all these originated in Scotland. And that's something that people don't normally know about us. And let's take a look now at our beautiful city, Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the capital city of Scotland. It's the center of the Scottish government. It's the fourth most beautiful city in the world, according to the Rough Guides 2019. And just walking around Edinburgh, you can feel and see the cultural and historical features that the city has. So the city has both modern and historical features existing side by side. It's a very international city. First of all, we have an international airport, which is quite good. And we have flights from over 130 cities, and we are just 1 hour to London by plane. We are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We are home to the very famous Edinburgh Castle and Harry Potter, as I mentioned before. Why is Edinburgh the perfect city to be a student in? We are home to 60,000 students. We are a student city. We welcome people and students from all over the world, and we were voted the second best city in the UK for students and the best city in the world to live. The quality of life is really, really high, and Edinburgh has everything. There's always something going on. It's also known as the festival city. We are home to the largest arts festival in the world, which is called the Fringe Festival. It happens every year for the whole month of August. Artists from all over the world come to Edinburgh to perform. Tourists from all over the world come to Edinburgh to see the artists performing, and the city really comes to life. So definitely a beautiful city to be a student in. So now that we've talked about Scotland and Edinburgh, let's have a look at our university, Edinburgh Napier University. We are a modern university. We were founded in 1964. And why are we called Napier, Edinburgh Napier University? That's a fun fact. John Napier is actually the inventor of the logarithm. And John Napier was born in Edinburgh, in the Murchiston Tower, which is where one of our campuses is based just now. So our first campus was Murchiston campus, and the Murchiston Tower is still there. John Napier was born there. He was the inventor, as I said, of the logarithm, and they are still the basis of some of our work, for example, for cybersecurity. So that's why we are called Edinburgh Napier University. We represent a modern, innovative, and inclusive university. These three are our three core values. A lot of our teaching is very practical, which means that you can get experience and learn firsthand. And this is one of our strengths. So the next slides are just to give you an idea of some of the things that we're really proud of. We are the number one modern university in Scotland, and we have overall 4 QS stars with 5 stars for teaching, employability, and internationalization. And something else that we are really proud of is that we are number 1 in Edinburgh for student satisfaction, according to the National Student Survey 2020. I mentioned before that one of our strengths is the practical learning. I wanted also to flag other 2 core values, other 2 core strengths, which are employability and entrepreneurship. We want our students to be ready for their future career once they graduate. So for this reason, we really support them with anything that they want to do to achieve their dream career, their dream job. Our dedicated team to help students with their future career is called Student Futures. We have a wide range of services, for example, a CV doctor. So students can join workshops, or they can book one-to-one appointments to have their CV looked at and any advice for for applying for a job, and a lot of different supports for career in general. And this results in very high percentages of students, graduate students, finding a job within 6 months of graduating. In terms of entrepreneurship, we also help students with their startups or opening their own businesses. We have a business hub called Bright Red Triangle, and our colleagues in that team help students setting up their own business. So far, we've helped 428 startups, and we've supported 1,560 students. So here on this slide, you can see some important numbers. We are an international university. We have around 20,000 students for more than 140 countries. So we are really international. You will meet a lot of students from all over the world. Teresa will tell you a bit more about this later, since she's also a European student, an international student. And we have 3 unique campuses in Edinburgh with 6 academic schools. Our 3 campuses are here on this slide. They are all located in Edinburgh, across the city. We are a city university, so everything is located across the city, and the three campuses are Sighthill campus, Craiglockhart campus, and Merkiston campus. They are home to different schools, and they have top-class course-specific facilities, and they are all connected by one bus route. Same for the accommodation sites. They're also connected by one bus route or more to the campuses. So definitely you will be based in the city center and you will experience Edinburgh fully. Here on this slide, you can see our 6 academic schools. These are our departments or faculties, and we offer a wide range of courses. We also have very unique programs, very niche programs. We have, for example, cybersecurity, but also criminology, forensic psychology, publishing. So we offer a wide range of courses. We have the Business School, the School of Applied Sciences, School of Arts and Creative Industries, School of Computing, School of Engineering and the Built Environment, and School of Health and Social Care. I would be interested in knowing if you have any idea of the subject area that you would like to study in your future, or in September, depending when you are interested in starting your university course. So here you've got some options. As I said before, if you've got any other idea not listed here, feel free to put it in the chat box. I'll be pleased to read. So here you can pick business, applied sciences, arts and creative industries, or engineering and computing. Something that it's worth mentioning is, oh, interesting, sorry, I was looking at the results. So the majority of our students today is interested in arts and creative industries. Perfect, we have a wide range of courses, so I'd be more than happy to show you what courses we have for both undergraduate and postgraduate. I can see that we also have students interested in business and the other courses in the other subject areas. Great. So really interesting for the Scottish degree structure. It is the fact that we have a different structure compared to other parts of the UK. So in Scotland, the undergraduate degree is typically 4 years. That's because we want to give students enough time to learn and focus on their course and their area or on their field, in their sector. So the Scotland's degree structure offers the breadth in early years of study, the depth in later years, and the flexibility. So in year 3, you will also have a chance to do a study abroad or year in industry option, and these results also in high graduation and employment rates. For our postgraduate courses, so the second level, normally our programs are 1 year long. We also have 2-year-long courses, but typically it's just 1 year, and we have a 3-trimester structure. So it's in Scotland, it is 4 + 1, and that's different from other parts of the UK or even other European countries. So why Edinburgh Napier University then? I've summarized here one of our strengths and what I want you guys to know. We have very, very strong industry links. We are closely connected to industry, so we focus on practical experience and industry expertise. So if you want to experience practical learning, and get experience while studying, this is the best place for you. The majority of our students learn practically by doing internships, work shadowing, or live projects during their course. And our courses are created together with industry in different sectors, in different fields, but also they help us deliver our programs. So they help us create and design the program, but also deliver the program to our students. And that's definitely our strength. So let's take a look now at practical aspects. So tuition fees. For undergraduate students, so for undergraduate programs, the undergraduate fees are between £13,770 and £15,990 per year. For postgraduate, the fees are between £14,500 and £16,875 per year. But the good news is that we have EU scholarships. We have a scholarship for UG students, which is a scholarship, a tuition fee discount of £3,000, and a PG scholarship, so a postgraduate scholarship of £7,500. On this slide here, you can see more details of the undergraduate scholarship. As I said, is a £3,000 for year one of the undergraduate course for self-funding students starting a full-time degree with us from one of the 27 European countries, minus Ireland. For postgraduate students, we have the postgraduate scholarship, which is a scholarship of £7,500, again, for self-funding students domiciled in the EU, in the countries listed here on the slide, studying a full-time degree with us. They are automatically assigned. They are a first-come, first-served type of scholarship, so there's no application process or application form to be completed. But yes, they are assigned on a first-come, first-served basis. Same for visiting students. So for students coming here to study abroad for 1 or 2 trimesters at Edinburgh Napier, we offer scholarships of £2,000 for self-funding students. So students not coming through a partner. And here you can see more information. Again, for the eligible countries on this slide as well. So enough about Edinburgh, Scotland, and the university. Now we want to hear some real-life experience from our ambassador, Teresa. I will hand over to you, Teresa. I know that you've prepared some slides for us, so we'd love to hear about your experience, what you're studying, and if you enjoyed Edinburgh Napier so far.
Right, so hi everyone, I'm Teresa. As Fede already said, I'm also an international student. I'm originally from Germany, and I'm currently speaking to you from Germany as well. I'm in my 4th and final year at Edinburgh Napier University, and to be honest, I absolutely loved all the 4 years that I spent in that city. The university staff is so encouraging, is so kind to everyone. If you need help, either academically or personally, because you struggle with homesickness or anything, they were always there for you, literally always there. And the university in itself is so highly focused on getting you where you need to be upon graduation. Fede already touched on employability being one of the core essences of the university. And you can see that through employability fairs, a newly introduced employability skills program. And this is new as well. The Edinburgh Napier Student Association has introduced the role of a student co-president for education and employability. So the entire student body will be represented by one former student who, if you have concerns that something is not going right in your education or you don't feel you're properly prepared, this is a person you can speak to who is then the direct person of contact to the university board. So that is really, really amazing. And why I chose Edinburgh, I've actually did a high school year abroad in Scotland before I started university. And that's when I fell in love with it. And I just knew I had to come back for some reason, and university was a perfect choice. This city combines everything. It's so diverse. There's something for everyone. Just have a look at the pictures that I put on this slide. You have historic architecture like Edinburgh Castle that is photographed out of Princes Street Gardens. So you're in the city centre and you still have green parks, hills where you can hike and be in the nature. You also live right next to the sea. So for example, I went sailing several times a year, and it's just, if the weather is well, if there's sunshine, it's an amazing experience. And then if you're into sports or supporting sports, not actually playing sports, there are so many opportunities. Rugby is a really big thing in Scotland, and down there you see me with the university rugby team. They actually they won the league last year. This year was a bit difficult with COVID, but we hope to get out on the pitch soon again. Well, not me, but the rest of the team. Then on the next slide, you see the course that I'm currently studying. It's International Tourism and Airline Management. And what I particularly like about this is that it has three main focuses. So as the title says, you have the management orientation. So besides all the tourism and airline stuff that you learn, you will learn the basics of human resource management, marketing, market research, as well as accounting and finance. So if after the 4 years you decide you don't want to go into tourism, you have all the basics that you need to gain a job in marketing, to get a job in HR, or do anything else that you want with that degree, because you have the tourism orientation in the course for sustainable impact, for tourism policy and planning. You can go in that direction as well, or you go with the third direction of this degree, which is aviation oriented, where you have studied courses such as airport management, airline management, or general transport and tourism, which include other modes of transport as well. So we're not just focused on planes. And in the next slide, I just listed what I thought made this program so particularly unique, which is the strong industry links. There was, I think for every single module that we have had, there was a guest lecture, there was the opportunity to experience some work-based, experience the industry. It was literally unforgettable. For example, in year 2, when you study airport management, you will have a field trip to Edinburgh Airport itself. You will speak with the manager of the airport and you get a guided tour. In year 3, you have the option to do a 6-month work-based learning experience, either in Scotland or anywhere else in the world that you want to go. Or you can do a life project, which is organized by the university, and students from this course are generally preferred to do this life project with the Edinburgh Airport, which is amazing. Which is a direct industry link upon your graduation. And then in 4th year, which is what I just completed, is the module Airline Management, which is where everything that you learned from the previous 3 years comes together in one. And with a group of students, group of 5, you design your own airline. So you're responsible for marketing, HR, finance, finding tourism destinations, and organizing the route web network of the airline, which is what you can see in the top picture. That's the route network of the airline I designed with my group this year. It's called Soar Airline, and we actually won the prize from Edinburgh Airport for the most successful airline in that simulated environment, which we're very happy about. And it's not just me saying that this course, this university is really, really great. In 2020, this particular course had 100% student satisfaction rate in the National Student Survey. So.
Congratulations for winning the prize, the best brew. Well done, well done. I could see that you were getting emotional there because you're in your final year, you've completed your course, so you were thinking about the gift. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Teresa. Amazing. So guys, if you've got any questions for Teresa about her experience, feel free to put them in the chat box or in the Q&A box there, and then we will answer those after the presentation. But thank you so much, Teresa. That was very, very good and very interesting. So in the next slides here, I have just a brief overview of our 6 academic schools. So I'm going to just go very quickly about them. So we mentioned before that we have the business school, so the faculty, the department, the business school has a wide range of different courses. We have business management, for example, and we want empowerment, enterprise, and employability for all. We are the top 10 UK university for courses such as hospitality, event management, and tourism. And I've seen before that someone was asking about languages. We don't offer languages anymore, unfortunately, but we offer a lot of courses for tourism, events, and that field, that sector. And we have 92% of our postgraduate students in work within 6 months of graduation. And the business school is based on our Craig Lockhart campus. For our School of Applied Sciences, we have, again, a very wide range of unique programs. We have biological sciences, but also sociology and psychology. We also have sports science, and we have very amazing sports facilities on campus. The School of Applied Sciences is based on our Sighthill campus. We also have the School of Arts and Creative Industries based on Merkiston campus. We have film production, both an undergraduate and postgraduate level. We have photography, design, but also music. So again, a lot of different courses. We also have the School of Computing. We are specialized in cybersecurity, creative computing, and gaming. And we also have the School of Engineering and the Built Environment. Again, we are the top 10 modern university for building and civil engineering, and the top 15 UK university for building. We also have the School of Health and Social Care, and we are the largest school of health and social care in Scotland. So let's have a look at other practical aspects of studying at Edinburgh Napier University. We have 4 accommodation sites across the city of Edinburgh. They are all self-catered, but we offer students a private room and a private bathroom. So you'll have an ensuite bathroom, and you will only share the living room and the kitchen with maximum 8 to 9 students. It is guaranteed for all first-year undergraduate students from abroad, so all first-year international students. We offer a lot of student services, a wide range of services. Here on this slide, you can see some of them. I've listed some, but we have some more. So we have the Student Association. So Teresa mentioned that she joined the rugby club. We have a lot of different sports clubs, and the Edinburgh Napier Student Association helps students with different topics, different matters. It can be also financial issues, financial matters, or any other things that you want to discuss with them. We also have a dedicated international support team to help you with visa and immigration questions or queries. You will also have your own personal development tutor who is going to be one of your lecturers, and they will help you throughout your academic journey or for any problems that you may experience. And finally, the Student Futures team, which I mentioned before, to help you with any career or job-related matters. We already mentioned the Student Association. So the Edinburgh Napier Student Association, also called ENSA. So that's something that you want to browse later on. I can send you the link to see what sport clubs and societies we offer. We have more than 20 student sport teams and more than 30 student societies, as well as our university gym, which is called Engage, which is both for staff and students. So definitely, if you want to join any extracurricular activity, you have a lot of different options there. So Teresa now is going to explain a little bit more about applying, so how to apply for both undergraduate and postgraduate students. So I will pass you on to Teresa just now.
So undergraduate applications, which is bachelor programs, are made through the University and College Admission Service called UCAS. That's their logo and the website as well. Their applications are only made through that portal, not directly with the university. And the deadline for UCAS applications is the 30th of June for international and EU students. If you're not planning to join in September 21, the applications for September 22 are opening in this September. Also, the application deadline for that intake will be the end of June. And what you should include in the application? Well, first of all, you need to register. You need to make a profile on the UCAS website. Then you complete your personal details. You can add your education history. You can complete your employment history as far as you have one if you're applying to undergrad courses. And then you can select your course choices. You can enter our UCAS institution code, which will direct you to Napier. It's E59ENU. And then you can enter course-specific codes, which are detailed on our course website. But you can browse them if you type in, for example, International Tourism Management. It will come up either way. You don't need those codes. And once you've selected all of that, we do require everyone to write a personal statement stating why you want to study in the UK, particularly Scotland, why are you interested in this course, and why are you a valuable applicant, and why are you a great addition to this university. And then last, as a reference, just to get to know you better from another person's perspective, and we do require an application fee if you're applying via UCAS. It's not a lot. You either have the choice to apply for one single course, or you apply for 4 different courses at the same or different universities. Currently, those fees are around £13 to £24. It will not increase drastically over the next years. And the last thing on that slide is a little FQA, like frequently asked questions, things you need to know about the application process, as well as how to write a personal statement, what we are particularly looking for. And then on the contrary, for postgraduate applications, you apply directly with the university. If you search on our website for courses, you will find that exact same picture that you see on this slide. Just click on apply for a next intake. When you select go, you will land directly on the application portal. You can upload supporting documents. You can, supporting documents, which will also include a personal statement, and then hit submit and it's all done. It usually takes around 3 to 4 weeks for your application to be considered. On the next slide, there's some more information of what needs to be included. We do need a copy of your degree certificate and a transcript, so we know what courses you studied. We need the personal statement, as I said before, a copy of your CV. We are especially looking for your work experience on that. So we do need employer names, your job title, your responsibilities, and the employment dates to be included on that. And also one academic reference if you're fresh out of a degree, or an employer reference if you've been out of education for more than 3 years. There's not a particular deadline for postgraduate applications, but we do advise you to apply sooner rather than later, because especially creative courses do fill up very quickly. And again, the last link here is how to apply, again, stating what we're looking for in a personal statement. It's very important if you apply for postgraduate or undergraduate courses, and you've not currently finished your degree or your high school, it's no problem. You can still apply, even if some documents are missing. The university can still consider your application and offer you a conditional space, which means you're accepted. Just when you receive your degree, send it to us, and your offer will be changed to an unconditional, and you've got the space and you can accept it then. On our website, there's usually only UK entry requirements listed, but if you click on Study with Us, International Students, you can browse for your specific country of origin, and entry requirements are listed there again. And if your mother tongue, like for myself, isn't English, and you have to provide us with an English proficiency test, there are several tests that we accept. You can find those as well on our website. If your high school or your previous bachelor degrees are taught and examined in English, you may be exempt from providing us with such a test. If you have questions, what you should do, what you shouldn't include in your application, you can always email us at international@napier.ac.uk. And I saw a question earlier about admission tests. There's no general admission test as such. However, particularly creative courses do require you to submit a portfolio and other courses where human interaction is playing a major role do require you to do an interview, which in current times will be done via video calls.
Perfect. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, so that was the end of our presentation. If you have any more questions, we are more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I really like to thank Federica and Teresa for the presentation, and it's been great to hear about these wonderful universities. So we did receive some questions, and I have to say that some of them has been answered by Catherine, which I really like to thank because she's been very helpful via chat. So one of the questions is actually for Teresa. So they're asking, was it hard to study abroad? And was it hard to meet other people? Social life at Edinburgh, how was it?
So when I came to Edinburgh, I wasn't new to the country, so that made it a lot easier for myself. But I stayed in student halls. I lived in a flat with 7 other people. And to be honest, all of them are not from Edinburgh. Most of them aren't even from Scotland. So every international student, you're all in the same boat. Everyone is away from home. A lot of them aren't even in the same country as their parents. So if you struggle, there's always someone for you to talk to. My favorite moment was in the first lecture, the tutor was asking everyone to raise their hands if they're from Scotland or the UK, and 10 people out of 150 actually raised their hands. And then he asked again, so who's international? And 90% of the hands just went up. So you're not alone. Never be scared of being from somewhere else or being an outsider. You're not, absolutely not. And especially if you engage in what we both said previously, the student association, if you join clubs or societies, you will always meet people. Also people who are not in your course, who you can speak about other topics to. Just get yourself out there and say hello to everyone. There's no one who would push you away.
This is great to hear. I don't know if Federica wanted to add anything about the community. I mean, you mentioned our international ideas, but maybe if you wanted just to give us another insight.
No, I completely agree with Teresa. I had a similar experience. So before joining Edinburgh Napier as staff, I was also a student here, a student from Italy. So yes, it can be quite scary to think about studying abroad, but actually it's the best experience that you can do. As Teresa said, don't be shy, use the opportunities that you are given, try to engage as much as you can. Also in terms of societies, we also have an international society. So if you think that you're not amazing at sports, you're not great at anything, because that's not really what we tend to think, oh, I don't have any hobbies or passions. There's also an international society. So you only have to be international or from another country and you can join, and you have people in the same situation and you will make friends. So definitely it'll be an amazing experience, and don't be afraid of being in a new country and moving abroad.
Perfect. This is very encouraging. Asking about career service, they're asking us if Edinburgh Napier has a career service office, and in this case, if this office helps students to find a job.
Yes, we do. So we have the Student Futures team. I believe you will get an international guide after the presentation, so you will find some information there. Our team helps students with any career-related matter. So as I mentioned before, helping with your CV, for example, if you are unsure about writing one, or how to find a job in the UK, or even an internship or a placement during your course, we have a dedicated team for that. So yes, we will help you. We will support you with career-related issues, matters.
Perfect. One of the questions from Matilda. So you mentioned before that there are some sort of scholarship in place for EU students. So wondering if anything has changed in terms of moving to the UK now that is not part of the European Union, if anything has changed in the process or any other aspects.
Yes, so the major thing has changed is the immigration. So now you will need to have a student visa, which is something that for European students is completely new, studying to the UK and having a student visa. However, seems like we have dedicated teams for everything, but that's really the case. We have a dedicated team for the for visa and immigration support. So we will help you with the whole process. You will have to have an unconditional offer from the university, and we will provide you with a number, which is called CAS number, which you will need to then apply for your visa. But we will guide you throughout the process, so you won't be left alone. So that's the thing that you will need to take into consideration. And then for EU students, we are now offering the EU scholarships, especially for PG, so for postgraduate students, the scholarship is 7,500. So it's half the price of the total of the tuition fees, which is quite good. So definitely it's something to take into consideration. As I said, there's no additional application process, it's automatically assigned. So first come, first served, something definitely to bear in mind.
Perfect, thank you. Actually, Matilda, just thanks for the very useful answer. Questions about the level of English. So during the presentation, you mentioned about some requirements. Maybe if we can just explain a little bit into this. And then there was another question from one of the students that asked if, for example, in this case, it was a Spanish student, if, for example, it could have, like, let's say, some sort of tutor or someone that also speaks Spanish in case, you know, you need some sort of help in learning English.
Okay, so in terms of English language tests or the English language tests that we accept, we have a full list on our website. Just to give you an idea, it is normally equivalent to a B2 level. So for IELTS, which is probably the most popular English language tests that students take, but we also have a wide range of others. We normally ask for 6.0 overall with no component below 5.5. But as I said, we accept many more, and I'm going to send the link here in the chat so you guys can have a look. The technology is not helping me just now, but here it is. Okay, perfect. So you will find the full list of English language tests there. So in terms of someone speaking Spanish, so if it's about, so as a prospective student, so before coming here, if you need any help with the whole process, the answer is yes. So you can, for example, find an agent, so someone who represents you, or you can talk to us and we will try to help you. Some of our staff speaks Spanish, so we can help you. Normally the language that everyone speaks is English, so not everyone speaks Spanish, so probably it's best not to expect everyone to be able to speak the language, and also you will still be required to have the English language test. If you are unable to meet the conditions in terms of English language, there are some pre-sessional courses, so you'll be able to meet the conditions with this help that we offer. So that's something that you can consider, and I'm going to send the link about this as well. There are different courses available depending on your level, so definitely something to explore.
And maybe something to add, if you're, for example, I handed in my English test and I still didn't get everything in the very first weeks of studying at Napier. And I sat there with my little dictionary, and there were multiple other international students who did so. If there's genuinely something that you still don't understand, just walk up to the lecturer. They will take the time because they want you to succeed. So they will take the time to explain something again, maybe slower, maybe with other words that you're more comfortable with understanding. So do not freak out about this. It's a second language, and it's a very hard thing to study in a different language than what is your own. And you should be very proud of yourself for attempting and doing so.
Thank you. And it's actually very encouraging. We just have Andrea was asking, I'm a master's degree in motor science. So is interesting in moving abroad as an experience also to learn English. And he said, I think my problem is a little bit the language. So as Teresa said, don't worry, try. And of course, as Federica mentioned, you should be meeting some requirement in order to be able to enroll. So your English level will be assessed. But then at the same time, it will be a great opportunity to prove yourself and to be able, to be living and experience fully. One of the questions that we received, and I know Teresa very kindly gave an answer, is about the deadline, so 30th of June. So I wanted to ask both Teresa, but Federica as well, if there is any sort of tips or advice that you feel like giving to someone that maybe is about to put an application through, and maybe how it was for you, Teresa, any sort of advice, because in this situation you might tend to forget some important details.
I was actually really late with my application. So for my part, I forgot to get a reference in time. So I had to submit the application without the full documentation. And I completely stressed about it, but the university was really nice. And they said, as soon as you have it, send it over and we'll still consider your application. I know the 30th of June is not that far away. So what I would recommend is you start with your personal statement, because this will be the core of your application. And then once you have that, also request a reference straight away. And the rest that you fill in is your everyday life. So your focus should be on the statement and the reference, and you will get that sorted even if you don't have everything right away. The university won't dismiss you because of it.
Perfect. I don't know if Federica wants to add anything maybe from another point of view.
No, I think that's definitely the point. I think a lot of students think that they have to have everything ready for the application. So some people are worried about their final transcripts or certificates because they haven't finished school yet by the 30th of June. That's really important. You don't have to have finished your school or your degree, your undergraduate degree by that time. So it's an open type of application. So you can submit, as Teresa said, the personal statement is really important, your personal detail, the references, if you have a name and an email address, that's fine. But then everything else can be uploaded later. So we will communicate with you. We will let you know if there's something missing. So it's a conversation. Second point that I would mention is not to get too anxious if you don't get a reply straight away. So our admissions team are currently dealing with very high volumes of inquiries, so you won't get a reply straight away. That doesn't mean that you've been rejected, and doesn't mean that we don't want you. And it's just that it takes some time for our colleagues to go through the applications and to review them. So just be patient. Submit your application with what you have at the moment, and then if there's something missing, we will contact you.
Perfect. Another question from Matilde. So when is the right time to put an application through? So in this case, she says, I'm not applying this year, I still have a bit of time ahead, but I've heard that we should apply the year before we go to university. So what is your advice on this?
Yeah, so I think that's probably Matilda is from Italy, but from many other European countries, there's this concept of having to apply the year before. So yes, previously the deadline was the 15th of January for European students. So in our idea, it was before we were about to finish the school, so it was a year before. Not necessarily, so you can apply, the deadline is actually Portugal, so I'm wrong, sorry Matilda, I thought you were Italian. But it's very similar, the system is very similar. So yes, so the deadline is the 30th of June. As I said, the sooner the better. So if you apply during your final year at school, great. If you can apply before the 15th of January, actually better, because you'll be given equal consideration, and you will have higher chances to get into the course. But the deadline is the 30th of June, so you can apply before then. Definitely two years before finishing the school is a bit early, but yes, next year, normally applications open in September, October, so you can apply once you're ready. You're welcome. I can see that.
Perfect. And I also wanted to ask, due to the current situation, how's the situation there if, you're back into campus for classes and, what, if you have any news on how it will be from fall season?
Okay. So our plan for September 2021 is to offer as many in-person classes as possible. So previously, during the pandemic, we offered a blended approach. So we had some online classes and some in-person classes. Then we also offered only online courses. I've seen that someone asked about online courses as well. And that's something that we offer. They are different courses. So we also offer online or distance learning courses. But for our full-time degree, full-time on campus, we expect to be able to offer in-person classes. So we'll still have some online classes, but students will be required to be in Edinburgh, and we will offer as many in-person classes as we possibly can, following the Scottish guidelines, of course.
Perfect, thank you. One of the questions that we are actually receiving is about how many students stay in Scotland after a master. So in this case, is someone interested in media-related courses? So if there is, let's say, job opportunity to stay after graduated.
Okay. Yes, there are some opportunities to stay in the UK after your degree. I can send you more information about this. There is a specific visa for that just now, so you can look into opportunities there. In terms of jobs available, it really depends on the field. There are some jobs available in Edinburgh in particular. There's the financial sector, there's the tourism sector. There are different various sectors which are really popular and thriving in Edinburgh or in the UK in general. But yes, so I can send you more information about the type of visa that you need and the opportunities as an international student to stay in the UK after your course. Something that you can think of is that you will have the opportunity to work during your course as well. So you can work up to 20 hours on your student visa. So up to 20 hours, you can work in your field if you want to, but also with a student job, just to get some extra money, in a pub, restaurant, cafe, just to get the Scottish culture.
Someone just wrote, I'm not sure if they meant if this is offered, but basically they say, I'm interested in psychology or criminology. I believe it's a subject that is covered, but I'm not sure what was the question. Maybe just wondering if it's something that they will be able to study at Edinburgh Napier.
Yes, we have both psychology and criminology. Undergraduate level, we have criminology and psychology. At the postgraduate level, we have applied criminology and forensic psychology, very popular course, but we also have applied forensic psychology. So I'm going to send you the link here. I believe it's in the Q&A.
As we mentioned at the beginning, we will also follow up after this webinar, sending you an international guide that will contain all relevant information, and we'll also be sharing an email address that you can contact in case you have any further questions. Because of course, as you've seen, there are lots of courses offered, different courses, and each of the courses might have a different requirement. And in case you have a specific question, the team will be able to answer all of the questions that you might have. One of the questions that we received at the beginning, and we did talk about in the presentation, but maybe just wanted to ask one more time because maybe someone just joined later, is about life in Scotland. Mm-hmm. So why, decide to study Scotland over, let's say, other destination? And I mean, we mentioned some very important points in the presentation. Maybe it's good to just remark.
Yeah, Teresa, do you want to?
So as I said, I chose Scotland because I spent a high school year already here when I was 16. Back then I didn't specifically choose Scotland to study in. I just clicked, yeah, I want to go to the UK, and I was accidentally put here. And I'm very happy that I got that I ended up in Scotland. And basically, what made me decide to come back for my university degree is that I genuinely enjoy the company of the people who live there. They're super friendly. They're wherever you go, there's a hello, how are you? There's people helping you who don't even know you, like strangers on the street will be super nice and comforting. And I mean, what I said as well in my slides about the diversity of Edinburgh in particular that it has to offer, it combined everything that I wanted from a city, and it's not overpopulated, it's not too big, it's just about the right size. So I didn't feel lost in any sense, even though it is the capital. And in the end, that was what made me decide to go here.
This is great. And Federica, I don't know if you wanted to add anything. I mean, you mentioned also some ranking, which are very interesting.
Yeah, Edinburgh is, I would say that it has everything. So it depends on the hobbies and passions that you have, but it offers a lot of different things for everyone. So if you enjoy green spaces, you will have a lot of places to go hiking. If you like culture and history, museums are free in Edinburgh, which is always amazing. I'm always shocked by it. It's super good. The Edinburgh Castle, we are the UNESCO World Heritage Site, so if you're interested in history, that's amazing. If you like partying, if you want to experience the student life, Edinburgh is a city, so we also have that. We are really close to Glasgow as well, which is very famous for its live music and thriving music community. So yes, there's something for everyone. It's the greenest city in the UK. People are super friendly, as Teresa said, which is true. They have a lovely accent as well. They are really famous for their accent, something that people are normally scared of, but then they start speaking like Scottish people and they love it. So yes, definitely a very nice place to live. And it is a city, but it doesn't feel like a big city. You can travel by bus and go everywhere. Everything is within 30 minutes by bus, which is great. So you can just travel by bus. It's not stressful. The quality of life is very, very high. So it doesn't really feel like being in a city. Definitely a great place to be a student and in general to live and to experience the Scottish culture.
This is great to hear. So another question about success rate for art or acting, music, undergraduate, postgraduate. So probably if you have any successful stories of alumni that took undergraduate or postgraduate degree in the field of acting, art, that maybe land in a particular job.
So successful stories, this is a very specific question. So I'd be more than happy to share any stories with you. If you want to drop me an email directly, you will get my contact details later on. We have a lot of successful stories and I can specifically send the successful stories about that field. We also have some very nice alumni stories on our website in the alumni section. So you can see our alumni news. We have some very successful alumni. We have the Disney head of creative who studied at Napier. We're really proud of him and many other famous alumni. So that's something that you can browse on our website. And then if you want to write me, email me directly, I'd be more than happy to share anything interesting about the subject area that you're interested in.
Thank you. We're coming towards the end of our conversation. I really wanted to thank Teresa and Federica for their time. As mentioned, we will be sending you a follow-up email, so you'll be able to find out more about the university, and also we'll be sharing your contact details. So as Federica said, feel free to email in case you have any further questions that are more specific. But before thanking you all for being connected with us, I wanted to ask Teresa and Federica if there was anything that they wanted to add. It's very hard to try to summarize a university and you know, an experience in an hour webinar. You did great, but just wanted to ask if there was anything else that you wanted to add.
Yes, there's one little thing that I wanted to add. If you want to talk to current students, so if you want to hear from live experience, real life experiences, we offer a service called Ask a Student. You can see a list of our student ambassadors on that webpage, and you can contact students based on their country or the course they are studying, or the level, undergraduate or postgraduate, and you can contact them and chat to our student ambassadors. Teresa is one of them, so you can also contact her if you want.
Perfect. Teresa, anything else that you wanted to add?
Nothing in particular, just the general advice. I'm super, super happy that I studied abroad, and I can only recommend it. It will be an unforgettable experience, and it will only accelerate your career that you choose later on in life.
Thank you. So I really like to thank Teresa and Federica for their time, and all of you for staying connected with us and for all of your valuable questions. We look forward to seeing you at the next live webinar, but check your inbox and reach out to the team. Any sort of question that you might have, as you can see, that are available. And Teresa is also an ambassador of the university, so you'll be able to reach out to current students, and it makes a lot of difference when you need to make such an important choice in your life. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.